Hey F1 fans, back again. Welcome, welcome. What a great weekend at Silverstone. One team in particular, McLaren, just shot it out of the park. Let's see who moved up and who moved down. All right, let's hit the Drivers' Championship standings. We will be looking at where we stood after Austria and where we stand now after Silverstone. Here are the lineups, and let's hit our first swap. Well, so Charles Leclerc started P4, but the Ferraris just didn't have the race pace to hold on. Ended up finishing P9 for just 2 points. George Russell, on the other hand, even though he got caught out by the safety car like so many others and dropped relative to the cars around him, he made good progress later in the race to finish in P5 for 10 points, getting him past Charles in the championship. And it leaves him just 1 point behind Saints, so we'll see what happens with that next week. All right, the next swap we have Ocon. He had to retire lap 10 due to a problem with his car, so no points there. And then we have Lando, who had an amazing weekend. Finally, his McLaren performs. All those, basically new car they've been rebuilding in the background while driving the old non-performing car has truly paid off. They were right up there. He showed some amazing speed to qualify in P2. It was a huge leap forward. It was so great to see Lando so happy. He manages to get a better start than Max, who was in P1, and lead the first few laps of the race before Max got him on DRS. And then during the safety car, they did all the right things because he stayed out a bit long on his first tires, so they were able to pit during the safety car. The weird thing was there was a lot of talk about it later, but his team put him on hards while most others went on softs. So he had to fend off Hamilton behind him on softs. But hey, he managed it, and it was a really great battle. He finished in P2 where he started. So this is great. It moves him up in the championship and leaves him just 2 points behind Stroll. So we'll see about him catching that one. All right, and then we have one more swap. We've got Gasly. It's really a sad day for Alpine because Gasly also had a collision with Stroll, and this took him out of the race, so nothing for Alpine. Nico Hülkenberg, he picks up front wing damage as Perez goes past him and has to pit early to change it. It always amazes me how lightly the cars have to come together, it seems, and then a front wing side plate goes flying. It just takes nothing. And then he basically gets put to the back and limps to the end of the race with their high deg finishing out of the points in P13. And then we have Oscar Piastri. He's the one who moves up because it's another great McLaren quali. He's starting in P3, right behind Lando. However, he had a little bad luck with the safety car because he pitted before the safety car, and so had a longer pit stop loss than others around him, so lost out somewhat, but still finished in P4 and would have been P3 if not for the safety car bad luck. This more than triples his championship points and gets him ahead of several drivers. So really, really great weekend for him. And finally, we have the drivers who stayed the same. Few points of mention. Hamilton fell back devastatingly to P9 after starting in P7. Going wide in lap 1, but he fought back, got ahead nicely by pitting on the safety car to finish on the podium in P3. So he was really happy with that after being really devastated with the drop. Alex Albon, perfect pit timing with the virtual safety car. He started and finished in P8 and scored points for Williams yet again. Lance Stroll, not a great race for Lance. He caused that collision with Gasly and got a 5-second penalty. He went from starting in P12 to finishing in P14. Sergio Perez again misses getting into Q3. He started in P15, fought back up to P6, And yeah, question, now that Daniel Ricciardo is replacing Nick de Vries at AlphaTauri, if he outdrives Yuki Tsunoda in that AlphaTauri, will Perez be in danger of being replaced by Ricciardo at Red Bull? A lot of talk going on about that. Let me know what you think in the comments. Kevin Magnussen had to retire due to his car was on fire. This was the cause of the safety car that everyone benefited or lost from, and he's now officially out of engines, so they're going to start to have penalties starting next race. Not what they need. And finally, Valtteri had to start at the back of the pack as punishment because his car didn't have the required amount of fuel left in it after quali. But he fought back and managed to finish P12, so not bad at all there. All right, let's check out the teams. Okay, all the setup again, Austria versus Silverstone. Okay, our first swap is no surprise there. Alpine, with both drivers finished without points this weekend, no huge surprise that the team loses some ground in the championship. And then McLaren, due to a huge jump in performance, McLaren moves up a spot comfortably with both drivers scoring well. However, there's a long gap to Ferrari, so the season is long. It's not quite half over yet. If they can stay up there right behind Max, they can catch the Ferraris. We will have to see. Haas, no points this weekend. So they move down relative to, and Alpha also no points this weekend. Hence, they both get passed by Williams, with Ferrari drivers even commenting on the excellent top speed straights that the Williams had this weekend. And Alex scoring 4 points. Williams moves ahead of those two teams this week. It puts them tied with Haas. There's a whole tie-breaking set of rules there, so yeah, it's enough to move ahead of two teams this weekend. Ferrari, in terms of the teams who haven't moved, Ferrari struggling with only 3 new points this weekend from both drivers, finishing in P9 and 10. Really, not the perfect strategy either, and suffering with tired egg more than other cars. Just don't have the pace. And for Aston Martin, Alonso continues to score well from the team, and some are saying that this was just a really bad track for them, so I would love to see them continue to hold their spot. I think it's very likely that they can. Stroll didn't score again, but if he can pick up and contribute points to the team, Aston Martin can stay up there, which is pretty fantastic. So that's a wrap for Silverstone. We have 1 week off, and then we hit our next race in Hungary, where people are expecting to see what Mr. Daniel can do in that AlphaTauri. We'll see you there. Have a great time until then.